Good morning, everyone.
Electronically popping in.
It's so good to see all of your faces.
Every time I just see all the electronic people showing up, I think to myself, that would never work in person, right? The door is just not wide enough. Morning, John Hickey, Joe Arthur. There's Wendell, Vlad, Una. What was that, Brad Gephardt? That was, there you go. And Stacy over there, Stacy Fry, John Moorfield. Good morning, John. Walter Prediger. Ski looks like he's intensely trying to figure something out. Well, it's showtime today. It's Rotary time. Happy Monday, everyone. Remember to use the Zoom functions, the top right-hand corner of your screen, to zero in on the speaker, and use the chat box too for members of our club. Go ahead and type your name in and just say hi to everyone else that's here in the room. Now, if you're visiting us today, welcome. And why don't you go ahead and type your name in the chat too, and then just put visitor right behind that so we can welcome you to our meeting today. Spring is definitely here now, for sure. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks just because I love spring and I love summer, and it's a great time to be a Rotarian. But let's get the meeting started with that bell, shall we, Adeline? We've got some truly special, some special things on our program today, so I'm looking forward to the program as the meeting goes along. I saw our invocator pop in, and Jeff Boswell, you need to unmute yourself. Were you planning to do the invocation, Jeff? Jeff is going to lip sync our invocation this morning.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. Okay, please join me in prayer. Dear God, on this beautiful day, make us ever mindful of all our many blessings that we have. In this day, as we honor service, let us do to others as we are so fortunate. Let us never forget how fortunate we are for the many things that we can do to help others. Amen.
Thank you, Jeff.
And for our song today, we'll hear Lift Every Voice and Sing, performed by Jarrett Johnson.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. march on till victory is won.
Well, that was incredible harmony. And Andy Reebok, used to say, remember to keep this fun. And it occurred to me as we were listening to that beautiful rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing that it would be fun to hear our club try all that harmony when we're back in person. Possibly not, I don't know, but we could give it a shot. Let's pledge allegiance. If you could join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America
and to
to the
the
republic
for which it
stands,
stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
for all.
for all. And the four-way test of all the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's keep that four-way test front and center as we go through our weeks. I want to thank Mike Jagger for taking minutes today in today's meeting. A couple of things we've been hitting in the last several weeks. Rotary Foundation donations are here. It's kind of front and center. So make your donation to the Rotary Foundation by May 31st, and your name will be entered in a drawing to appear on a billboard just like this one. Now, the drawing will take place at our Service on a Monday event on Monday, June 7th. So get those donations in, and remember the forget-me-not seeds. How many people planted the seeds somewhere by show of hands? A couple hands went up. If you didn't, when the flowers start blooming, why don't you take pictures and send them in? I think that will be fun and enjoyable to see. We're at the time of year where we kind of remind ourselves to get involved by joining a committee or thinking about the committees that you're already a part of. Yes, this past year was kind of strange in terms of what we were able to do or not able to do in our committees. So as you're reviewing that, go on out to the Rotary Club of Harrisburg website, click the Get Involved button, and in the drop-down menu there, just click on Join a Committee. For more information about any of the committees, reach out to the committee chairs. You'll see their names listed there when you click on Join a Committee. Our club's annual meeting, again, is coming up on Monday, May 17th. In order to vote for the officers and board of directors that you see nominated there in front of you, you'll need to be, first of all, a member of our club, and secondly, be present at the annual meeting on Monday, May 17th. So we're excited about folks listed there and the leadership team that they'll be bringing to the table in the coming Rotary year. And we actually have a couple of surveys for you today, but the first one really is all about this number 110. What is so special about the number 110? Oh, there is a survey that just appeared. Is the number 110 the number of Rotary International Fellowships? Is it the number of biosand filters installed by our club in Haiti? Is the number 110 the number of years since the first Rotary Club of Harrisburg meeting? Or is it the number of people attending this meeting? Go ahead and take your pick there and then hit the submit button. Survey results. Are they coming in, Adeline? We'll give people a minute. Bob Celine says number 23 in all the world. Someone else said something about a Rotary birthday. 87% of you said the number of years since the first Rotary Club of Harrisburg meeting, and that would be correct. Monday, May 3rd is our club's 110th birthday. All right, how many people think we should sing happy birthday right now? All right, never mind, we won't, okay. But we are having a birthday party on Monday, May 3rd, 6 p.m. at the Hilton. It's not going to be real complicated, but we do plan to have a cake, and we'd love to see you there. So RSVP at hbgrotary.org. And again, we'd love to see you at the birthday party. Remember, our Rotary District Conference is coming up. This will be a virtual event this year. It's this Friday, April 30th, Saturday, May 1st, and Sunday, May 2nd. The cost to attend is $25. And if you haven't registered already, then head on out to the website listed there on the slide and make sure you get registered to attend this year's district conference. Now, Saturday afternoon, May 1st, will be a service event that's actually part of this year's district conference. District Governor John Anthony has asked that clubs in our district have a service project as part of a district-wide day of service. So we are planning to be doing landscaping over at the Susquehanna Safe Haven Homeless Shelter. Click the link there on the Rotary Club of Harrisburg events calendar to get registered. And I think there's a link in the Rotary Roundup as well, isn't there, Adeline? There is. So read the roundup, click the link, reach out to Steve Swartz if you have any questions. And so many more events just coming up. The way you stay current on things coming up is by reading the roundup, top to bottom, every Friday. It's delivered right to your email. And secondly, visit often the Rotary Club of Harrisburg website, click on the events calendar, and you'll be able to stay current with all of the things happening here in Rotary Club of Harrisburg. Club number 23 in all the world. Now, here's another survey. This is going to work a little differently than the one we just took. But as we prepare for our post-COVID club meeting schedule, we really, really would like your input. So if you haven't taken this survey already, we want to give you a minute to take the survey now. In the chat box or in the chat function, you should see a link that you can click on to take the survey. And while you're doing that, we'll watch a short video from the Rotary International Foundation. Right, thank you. Just a great reminder of some of the things that we get accomplished together through Rotary. Someone asked in the chat, if I took the survey already, can I take it twice? No. If you take the survey 2 or more times, you will lose points. Okay. All right, everyone's muted. I couldn't hear anyone. Maybe, maybe nobody's laughing. Maybe nobody thought that was funny, but I thought that was enjoyable. You lose points if you take it more than once. All right, thank you to our corporate members, Capital Blue Cross, UPMC, Highmark, Hospice of Central Pennsylvania, and Harrisburg Regional Chamber and CREDIC. We so appreciate your support. Your support helps us to fulfill the many humanitarian projects that we work on throughout the course of each Rotary year. Now, in preparation for today's Hanson Award presentation, I had an opportunity to do a photo op with this year's awardee. Isn't that a great picture? Great picture of Ellen, anyway. Congratulations, Ellen. You are joining the growing ranks of Rotarians who have been recognized by our club in Rotary leadership through the years. Now, it's a real special privilege. Introducing today's speaker is a longtime Rotarian who has given much in Rotary service through the years. She has served as our club president and district governor of Rotary District 7390. And she was actually the person who got the Hanson Award started. So to introduce our speaker today and also give us some history on the Hanson Award, I'm pleased to turn over the mic to past District Governor Janice Black.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Can you hear me?
You are doing great.
Okay. I'm very honored to speak to you today as we celebrate our 2021 Robert D. Hanson Award winner, Ellen Brown. Congratulations, Ellen. But before I introduce Ellen, I wanted to talk to you about a man who loved Rotary and all it does for the world. And of course, his name is Bob Hanson. He was a dear friend and a wonderful human being. And for those of you who are new to the club and did not know Bob, here's a short bio for you to get to know him. Bob Hanson was a well-respected attorney in Harrisburg. He graduated summa cum laude from Gettysburg College in 1939 with the Bachelor of Science in the Arts in History, where he was a member of Phi Beta Kappa. Incidentally, his father was the president of Gettysburg College for over 35 years. And during that time, Bob was born and grew up on the campus before he attended the college. He then went to Dickinson Law School and graduated in 1942. He had his own law practice and later worked with Kleckner and Farron, a practice in Harrisburg. He was admitted to practice in front of the Dauphin County Courts, the Superior Court of Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, the U.S. District Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, and administrative boards and commissions of various government bodies. He was a member of the Pennsylvania Bar Association, serving on the board, and he also served as treasurer. The Pennsylvania Bar Association as secretary treasurer of the taxation section, and he served on the national panel of arbitrators of the American Arbitration Association. He was a busy man for sure. He was involved with almost every charity in our area, in serving on boards and giving guidance, serving as mentors, and he earned countless awards during his life for all that he had done in various areas of service, and he was very proud of those awards. He also was very proud of his military service and served in the ranks of second lieutenant to major in the infantry of the United States Army from 1942 to 1946. He was awarded the Bronze Star Medal and the Purple Heart. He served as a major and divisional staff officer in General George Patton's Third Army European Theater of Operations. He often told me about his experiences, and one of the things that he mentioned more than once was that he was one of the first soldiers to enter the concentration camp Auschwitz. And he never forgot the horror that he saw that day and what they had to deal with. And he remembered it for the rest of his life. He said he just never could get that vision out of his mind. He was married to Barbara Esmer when he came back from the service. And when they saw they could not have children, they decided they were going to adopt the nonprofits in the community as their children. And they served them well during those years, and after death in their wills as well. Upon his passing, he willed all of his military uniforms, writings, and many other family items to Gettysburg College because he felt that he and his father started there and his life's collection of items should serve Gettysburg College on behalf of himself and his father. So they are enjoying those items, and there were many things that were given to Gettysburg. Today, there is a building on the campus of Gettysburg College called the Hanson House. It's a white building, which used to be the house where they lived, and it's now been constructed to display the special collections of the college, and it's also a place for students to use for special projects. He was very proud of that, and one time he took me over there and gave me a tour of the campus and that house. He was, simply stated, a remarkable man. I was privileged, as so many of us were in this club, to know Bob. He was a true gentleman. He loved Rotary and lived it and talked about it all the time. In 1999, when Joe Sutliff was the president of the club, Joe asked Bob if he would help him get a strategic planning process started for the club. Bob volunteered to be the champion of that for the club and addressed the club about it, the importance of it, and what we had to do, and he was the chair of the first committee. It was something we had never done, and we were actually the first club in the district to do a strategic plan and served as an example for many other clubs that came later on. So as you all know, the process is one that we do every year. It facilitates our work for the year, and it's our club's roadmap for service and for growth for each year. When I was in line to become president back in 2001 and 2002, Bob offered to help me learn the ropes, as he said, of Rotary. And so we started to meet every 2 weeks. He wanted to meet at lunch. He always felt food was what got things started. And he had been a member for many years of the club, and he served as president in 78 and 79. And he always talked about the benefit of getting people interested in the same thing around the table to learn together. So the two of us would meet, and then after a few months, Bob decided to ask the current president of the club to join us, and then he added the person who would follow me as president to help that person prepare for the office. And so it went. He kept adding people to the group, and the group kept growing. So the group grew to about 8 or 9, sometimes more, and Linda Friedenberg, who was our secretary at that point, was always present in those meetings. Always met at lunchtime, usually at the Tuesday Club or the Hilton. Those were Bob's favorite places. And he always insisted in buying the meal for all of us. He loved to sit back and just watch and listen to the discussion that came out of all of those meetings about Rotary, of course. And with those meetings, he created a process that still goes on today within the club. Every year we add a new person who would be in line for the presidency, and that person chooses a past president as a mentor to join the group. And for those of you who were a member of the Hanson Lunch Committee, I'm sure you would agree it was a great experience to be involved in as a Rotarian. As time went by, Bob believed in this process so much that he started a fund at the Foundation for Enhancing Communities that would provide money for a few years after he was gone to pay for the lunches. He didn't want the group to stop, and he wanted to make sure money was there to pay for the food. He told me he wanted to be sure that we kept it going and asked me to make sure the money was spent only for the food. Food brings people together, he said. Bob passed away in July of 2006, a very sad day for many of us. And though he is gone and all of his funds in that fund are gone, we keep replenishing it with contributions every year from the folks that are involved now. So the Hanson Committee is alive and well. We meet every other month, and it's a great place to teach current and upcoming leaders in the Rotary Club of Harrisburg to discuss Rotary matters that are ongoing and planning new events or things that are coming up. The group does meet at lunchtime. Sometimes it meets in the mornings, but we always remember Bob Hanson. and his wonderful and kind efforts to keep us all working and planning together. The group now consists of the current president and their mentor, the previous president, the upcoming president, and the past presidents of several years back and their mentors. The group really is helpful to each other, and the results of the work of the group helps this club in many ways that you really aren't aware of. But it's a great sounding board to discuss things. So we owe a lot to Bob Hanson and highly value him and his memory today. The year I was president, I asked Bob if the club could have an award for an up-and-coming Rotarian in his name each year. And he thought about it and said that we could. Only if the award helped a person the club recognized as a future leader to learn more about Rotary in some way. Someone who would ultimately be interested in serving as president of the club at some point. Bob always felt that a person could best learn the impact of Rotary after attending a national Rotary convention and experiencing the effect of seeing thousands of people coming together to celebrate the service of Rotary on a world scale and all those involved. I'm so pleased to say the winner of the Hanson Award does get a trip to the National Rotary Conference every year, paid for by the club, to enable the person to understand the vast effects of Rotary in the world overall and to see all of those coming together. After all, Rotary is really bigger than our local needs. And sometimes I think we all need to be reminded of that. So the qualifications for the prestigious Robert D. Hanson Award are: the recipient exemplifies the Rotary four-way test in his or her professional, personal, and Rotary life. The recipient has positively affected the major objectives of the club's strategic plan through committee work, fundraising, and/or fellowship. And the person selected has served in the club for at least 3 years and is someone we the club see as serving as a future president of the club. He made sure to say that past presidents, current president, and past presidents, president-elects are not eligible for this award. So you saw the list of all the winners. It started, we gave our first award in 2002, and of course that was Andy Rebuck. And we have come through to today with Ellen Brown. So I would like to read Ellen's bio to you. I don't want to miss anything. She has a wonderful history of work and is so deserving of this award. We're very proud to give it to her today. So this is Ellen's bio. Ellen Caldwell Brown has molded a family tradition of community service into a successful business that helps provide essential fundraising support to worthwhile community and cultural organizations. A third-generation graduate of Dickinson College, her career began as an advertising sales representative for WKBO Radio in Harrisburg in the winning days of live disc jockey AM radio. She then further honed her selling skills with Whiteco, Metrocom, and WHP AM Radio 580. Ellen worked at the public broadcasting station WITF as the first person to solicit local businesses for underwriting support for its classical and cultural programming. She then served as the general manager of the Central Pennsylvania region of Radius Communications, the cable TV advertising of what is now Comcast. Combining her ability to close sales with her extensive knowledge of the Harrisburg business, civic, and political environment, Ellen has become widely respected for her capabilities in special project fundraising. One of her more notable projects was the Whitaker Center's Cow Parade, 2004. And do I ever remember that, Ellen? The world-renowned public art exhibit brought nearly 1 million people to Harrisburg over 2 months to view the creative and colorful, whimsical cow sculptures painted by talented artists. It was a wonderful time. The subsequent auction of the cows raised over $500,000 for the Whitaker Center. In 2006, Ellen was appointed by then Mayor Stephen R. Reed to lead the Harrisburg Sesquicentennial Commission to showcase Harrisburg's unique heritage, rich diversity, and enduring prominence through planning, funding, and implementing projects celebrating the 150th anniversary of the incorporation of the city. The project included an unprecedented oral history program. The Highmark Blue Shield Living Legacy Series, featuring the memoirs and stories of 150 residents utilizing groundbreaking digital video library (DVL) technology created and pioneered by Carnegie Mellon University. The sesquicentennial celebration also included the 150th commemoration of Harrisburg's Grand Review of the United States Colored Troops, USCT. Ellen has also provided development assistance for the Boys and Girls Club of Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Symphony Orchestra, Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition, Pennsylvania Court Appointed Special Advocates, and Dauphin County Library System and Veterans Outreach of Pennsylvania. Her volunteer civic service includes serving on numerous area boards, including the United Way of the Capital Region's Campaign Communications Committee, the Historical Society of Dauphin County, where she was president, Dauphin County Library Association, Susquehanna Art Museum, Open Stage of Harrisburg, and the former Tri-County Mental Health Association. She currently serves on the board of directors of the Rotary Club of Harrisburg and is a member and past president of the College Club of Harrisburg. When she is not organizing financial support for worthwhile causes, Ellen lives on a farm in Granville with her husband, David, where they breed and raise sport horses and enjoy their other pets, including dogs, cats, goats, geese, ducks, and chickens. The Browns have 3 children: Charles, an attorney for the Commonwealth; Lenore, president of the Phelps Media Group, an international leader in equestrian sports media in Wellington, Florida; and Thomas, a graduate of Penn State University, who works for Realtor.com. And I would just like to add that Ellen is a very wonderful member of Rotary who we all respect. Congratulations. Ellen?
Wow. Good afternoon, and thank you, past District Governor and Madam Chair Janice, President James, past Hanson honorees, officers, board members, fellow Rotarians, and guests. It's an honor to accept this award, and I am truly humbled to follow in the footsteps of previous honorees whom I hold in such regard. It's a great privilege to share this occasion with all of you. Before offering my reflections on such a momentous occasion, I would like to introduce my family members here today. My mother, Lenore Snooky Caldwell, at 94, she's Zooming. My husband, David, and our daughter, Lenore, who is joining us from her office in Wellington, Florida. Our son, Thomas, is participating in a previously scheduled training with his employer, Realtor.com, and our son, Charles, whom you heard Janice speak of a moment ago, is camping now somewhere in the Ozarks, celebrating his recent retirement as Chief Counsel of the Office of Open Records of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. While I was only a child when Mr. Hanson served, I did, according to my mother, get the chance to meet him as a child. That is because my family, the Caldwells, were also lawyers and also committed to service. While preparing my thoughts on how being a Rotarian has helped define my life, I happened to come across a copy of an article written by the late Paul Beers, who wrote the Reporter at Large column for the Patriot News. The 1977 column was about my father, the late Thomas D. Caldwell Jr. He was that year's chairman of the United Way's fundraising effort, the largest in its history. I'd like to read part of it to you. Tom disavows the loftier reaches of altruism in explaining why he accepted the community's toughest job, that of United Way chairman. Quote, "I really got into it backwards," he said, of his 5 years of voluntary involvement. First, someone needs help, so you help. Then you find yourself mixed up with a lot of nice people. A lot like Rotary, isn't it? You want to win, and then you look around and you see the depth of the need and all of the people in the community who must have what the United Way brings. The article went deep into Caldwell family history, even quoting my grandmother, Martha Caldwell, who said that her 3 children were raised discussing civic duty each night at the dinner table. That's good for children, she said. They can learn a lot that way. That was the tradition I also experienced. My parents set a high bar. In addition to the United Way campaign, my father served as a member of the House of Representatives, was president of the Bar Association of Dauphin County, and gave his time to many other worthwhile causes. My mother, affectionately known to all as simply Snooky, was equally active in civic affairs. As part of the Junior League's Art Goes to School project, she taught art appreciation to elementary school classes in the Harrisburg School District. She also served as president of both the Tri-County Mental Health Association and the Harrisburg Hospital Auxiliary, as well as on the Board of Trustees of the Harrisburg Symphony Association and Homeland. In carrying on the tradition of service, I have had the good luck to work on important projects, such as Janice mentioned, especially Whitaker Center's high-profile Cow Parade 2004. The project was intended to raise money for an endowment to fund and support Whitaker Center for the Science and the Arts. And to that end, it raised nearly $500,000. And while the money was important, what really mattered was the joy it brought to so many. What mattered was the sense of pride it instilled in our community and for the local artists who helped create those unique and colorful life-size cows that roamed our city for 2 months that summer. The delight each of the business sponsors and the public at large really mattered. It made a difference. The Rotary bell cow still lives in front of the Harrisburg City Government Center. Today, in the midst of a global pandemic and a time of profound introspection as a nation, the statement, "We are all in this together," seems especially applicable to Rotarians. While connecting with each other and our mission is more challenging, the heart we all bring shines more brightly than ever. As a result, our Rotary has remained fully engaged in our mission to provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through our fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. We have adapted to pandemic restrictions by building new alliances with organizations, from our lunch money contributions to conducting virtual meetings and a steady communication flow. Rotary volunteers have shouldered new and unfamiliar situations with determination and optimism. Now, I want to share a story a fellow Rotarian told me recently. After a presentation from Dr. John Judson, who had just returned from a humanitarian surgical mission to Haiti, Dr. Judson was asked whether the trip had any impact on the unimaginable poverty there. He replied, "Sure, I know there's always something more that needs to be done, but at least I did something." As Rotarians, we all understand we must each do something. We each know that nothing provides more meaning outside of family than the opportunity to make a difference for another person. We all possess something of value to share, and we all have something to give. And even if nothing any of us does changes the world, we can certainly change a life. And that is certainly enough. Thank you again for this award. I pledge to honor the legacy of Robert D. Hansen in service to our organization and our community by doing just that.
Thank you so much, Ellen. As I have said on more than one occasion, it is impossible to adequately say thank you in a Zoom meeting. And today is no different. So thank you. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. And we are looking forward to your leadership in coming years in our club. So congratulations again. And just, Adeline, go ahead and put up that photo op slide again, if you could. And if we were in person, we'd be handing the clock. And so there it was. Thanks for coming over and doing the photo op, Ellen. That was a lot of fun. Our next meeting will be Monday, May 3rd, right here, virtual again. Our speaker will be George Fernandez from the Latino Connection, and he'll be talking about COVID resources in underserved communities. On that, I guess that's today, the Service on a Monday committee, the Service on a Monday committee will be meeting at 1 o'clock today. Say that 10 times as fast as you can, Service on a Monday committee, and try it. So anyway, thank you, Rotary Club of Harrisburg, again, for being a part of the meeting today. Thank you for being a part of our club. We appreciate you and the difference that each one of you make in the lives of people you rub shoulders with. Make it a great Rotary week.